Boxed macaroni and cheese is delicious as is, but I'm trying 3 different ways to make it taste even better. So for the first method, I turned to my followers on Instagram. I posted on my Instagram story, what is your favorite way of dressing up boxed macaroni and cheese? Waited 24 hours and sifted through the responses, which were all great, but one of them piqued my interest. Instead of using water to boil the noodles, somebody suggested to use milk instead. Right now, I am lucky enough to have milk in my fridge. It seems very simple, but I feel like it would make the noodles creamier, because the cheese powder is already so grainy, so hopefully boiling it in milk will make it more rich. So I'm gonna try that. So for method 1, we have just 3 ingredients really. Macaroni and cheese, the milk, and some butter. In that little green box, it says to prepare with less fat. We are in quarantine. I'm not concerned of fat-free right now, so let's kind of just throw caution to the wind. But, I mean, this milk is 2%, so I guess we're not completely going there. I know going in that milk boils pretty quickly, so I'm going to keep an eye out on this. Okay, so it's not over boiling, and it's been 2 seconds, so I am going to fix myself a drink. Okay, so I'm back. It looks like it's about to start boiling, so I'm gonna get the noodles ready. Ooh, no, 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 no. Remember when I said...
So, I'm going to keep an eye out on this.
And then it would be really difficult to clean up. This better be worth it, y'all. So it said 7 to 8 minutes, so I will start at 7 and just taste then. We're just gonna give it a little stir. Maybe the milk in this thing will, I don't know, loosen up the powdered cheese a little bit more than water. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. So from the Instagram submission that I got, it said to add in heavy cream as well. So I actually think I have a little in my fridge. Let me check. Also, what is this? Cheese sauce mix is going in. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in this heavy cream. Just a little splash. Yeah, a little splash. Okay, that seems like it'll loosen things up a bit. Oh, but you know that it's good macaroni and cheese when it sounds like this. All right, I'm gonna plate and then I'll see you in a bit. I picked my second method by searching the internet. And my mission was basically to just find the most creative, out-of-the-box way that I can find, but something that I can still do with relative ease in my kitchen. What did I do wrong? The one that I decided to pick was fried macaroni and cheese balls. I mean, you see this in restaurants, and to take a boxed macaroni and cheese and just do a simple tweaking and make it into a glorious appetizer sounds great to me. I looked at a bunch of recipes, but decided to go with Damn Delicious for this one because I've been following that recipe blog for a while now, and Chunga's recipes, from what I've tried, have always been knockouts. For the recipe, it calls for homemade or store-bought mac and cheese, and I'll just be preparing this to the box instructions. They have it, but it's up there, and it spirals. Now that the macaroni and cheese is done, I am going to chill it before I fry it. Then the recipe calls for panko breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, and some chives. Because we're stuck in quarantine, I was thinking to myself, what if I just make the breadcrumbs from scratch? Just because I have the time. So for that, I'm going to be using some leftover bread that I have. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and cut it into little cubes. I wonder what the difference is between breadcrumbs and panko breadcrumbs? I feel like I should know the answer to this, but I do not. Now that I have chopped up all of my bread into these little cubes, I'm just going to blend them in a food processor. That looks good. Yeah, that sounds like it's definitely ready. It's been 3 hours now, and the boxed macaroni and cheese should have been chilled all the way through. All right, let's start assembling these balls. Okay, so that's one ball. From the recipe, it just said to chill for a few hours and then form it into balls. But like right now, the noodles are like kind of like falling apart as I'm going. And then put in the milk. Ooh, and noodle down. And then the breadcrumbs. How is it falling apart like this? What did I do wrong? I'm gonna just try to put some flour in with the other ones and see if that works. I don't know, man. Okay, let's try this one. Not disintegrating. Okay. Now, okay, we have no separation, which is good. I'm kind of proud of myself for finding a makeshift resolution to this. I don't know if it's actually gonna pay off in the end. For the last two, I kind of want to take the homemade breadcrumbs, put them aside, and try it with the store-bought one, just to see if there is a drastic difference. Basically, this one is the closest thing to the actual recipe. It's going in. It sounds good. Ooh, that golden brown color, I like. For our third and final method, I reached out to Chef David Elkins from Murray's Cheese Bar in New York City. Obviously, Murray's brick and mortar stores are closed at the moment, but Murray's usually is like a one-stop shop for all things cheese. They sell cheese over the counter. I mean, they have cheese-related foods, and they even have an extensive mac and cheese menu. So I decided to hop on a Skype call with Chef David and see what he recommends me doing. What are your thoughts about boxed mac and cheese?
It's acceptable, especially in times like these. I mean, if you want a taste of comfort food really quick that's shelf stable, I think it's a good option.
So now that I've tried the two methods that I told you about,
right,
how would you make it?
There's always the option to add ingredients in, and my mind goes to a version of our signature mac and cheese that we offer at the restaurant, our French onion mac, which uses caramelized onion and bacon lardons. So you can get all of those ingredients, including the 3 cheeses that we use, which is Murray's Cave-Aged Gruyere, French raclette, and a stocking Hall cheddar. Those are all available on our website at murrayscheese.com. We're still shipping nationwide. Any melted cheese is a good cheese. You can mix whatever into pasta and heat it up, and it's going to be great. But if you prepared your boxed stovetop mac and cheese according to directions, then you could caramelize some sweet onions, which takes about 45 minutes to an hour if you do it right.
I have the time.
Okay. Yeah, it's super simple to do. You just have a little butter in a pan, let it go low and slow for a long time till it's a deep brown.
It's been about 20... So it's been about 20 minutes now, and the onions are still cooking, caramelizing. I'm bored. Okay, so it has been about an hour and 20 minutes since I started caramelizing the onions, and they are brown now.
And then I would dice up some like thick cut slab bacon if you have it, maybe like a 1/4 inch dice, and just throw that in the oven, 350 for like 12, 15 minutes. You could add those ingredients into your pot of mac and cheese, then like put it in a casserole.
What kind of cheeses should I put on top before it goes into the oven?
I think just a great general guideline is a cheddar cheese to add kind of tanginess or acidity, a cheese that melts really well, in this case raclette. But if you don't have raclette, you could also use something like taleggio or even a fontina. And then the flavorful nutty cheese like a Gruyere or Comté, something like that.
Do you think though that like the 3 cheeses that you kind of curated to make this at home is going to complement or like mask that cheese powder?
They're definitely gonna mask it if you use enough. If you use enough.
And when it comes to like a ratio, should I just eyeball it, or how much do I know to put in?
We use a 1 to 1 to 1, so
okay.
Equal parts of all the cheeses. Then you should be good to go.
That's like a lot of cheese. Jesus. I don't know if I'm gonna use all that. I think I did good. I think I did okay. There's so much pots and pans in my sink now, and it's giving me anxiety, but we're just gonna choose not to think about that. Getting fancy with box mac and cheese, so why not celebrate with a glass of wine, right? Right? Nothing is going to plan. Literally nothing.
So I would take that shredded cheese and kind of put it on top, and then maybe broil it for like 5 or 6 minutes until it's like bubbly and brown.
I just realized, since I'm broiling it at the end, should I put that rack to the closest to the top of the oven, or do I do that later? I'm just gonna go with I'll do it now.
You just don't want to you don't want to keep it in the oven too long at too high of heat, because then the cheese is gonna start to break.
So visually, it looks very similar to regular box macaroni and cheese. I don't find any like distinguishing smell or textural comparison that like convinces me that this will be like life-changing, but let's see. Oh wow. Oh, that's very surprising. Okay. It definitely adds a subtle sweetness, subtle nuttiness because you are boiling it in that milk. Does it taste like macaroni and cheese? No. Does it taste like a restaurant version of a macaroni and cheese ball? Also no. It literally just tastes like bland noodles fried with panko on top.
That caramelized onion is everything.
It's still got that orange, hue from the box macaroni and cheese. But it does not taste like box macaroni and cheese. The 3 cheeses really make the macaroni and cheese have like so much more of a complex flavor. Obviously, it's kind of like funky and pungent. I want to say that the star is the caramelized onions. Wow. I want to put caramelized onions on everything. Hi guys, I decided to come back and tell you my final thoughts on the 3 methods that I tried. I don't know, of all 3, I feel like method 1 was the best. Method 3 is the best recipe that could stand on its own, and method 2 is a great base foundation for fried macaroni and cheese. But method 1 definitely was the one that completely transformed the dish in such a simple way. Let me know what pantry item I should try next, and please, if anyone has recommendations on how to get this horrid milk stain off of my stove, I am all ears. All right, bye. It did not work.